sense to you. And I'm sorry about that.
Eu também não faço tão bravo se não possível.
With the house.
Oi? Ah, ok. As teclas, que é que faz?
I lived here until I was
Triângulo é pior ao menu? Ok.
11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Dados cômodos. A caixa de correio. Vamos lá ver.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Vou atrofiar com os
I hadn't been back since my brother
Está bocado escuro.
Lewis.
Espera aí, tem calma.
Funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Eu acho que não era por aqui.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Tá bem, vamos lá ver onde é que é essa casa. Diz tu que é silencioso. Bem-vindo a quem está a assistir ao live. Caramba. Bem-vindo a quem está a assistir ao live.
The house was exactly like I remembered it. The way I'd been dreaming about it.
Pois? Foda-se, quem é que fez uma casa assim, mano? Porque lá em cima é chaminé, não? Oh, what the hell.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into
Ficava
words.
desconfortável na casa de um jeito que não precisa escrever. Pois, está bem, obrigado, olha para esta merda, mano. Quem foi o arquiteto? Deve ser português, só pode. Deve ser português. Não percebo. Olha que casa, mano. What the fuck?
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Tens medo da casa, mas vais voltar lá. Ok. Chato.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
É, a casa está mesmo à esperinha de ti. E deves estar lá a esperar alguém para... não sei. Missing. A partida deve ser isso. Não consigo ler o resto. O que é isto? Acessimentos ao caralho. Mas já estão aí, como é que eu entro? Olha, uma cagando na garagem. Também pode. Caralho. Oh.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Pois, é normal. Estava a usar mais velho. Tá bem. Eu estou a ver. Olha. Tu nunca entras assim numa casa.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Me enfiei pela portinha lá do cachorro.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Eu nem que eu ligo a luz.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Tanto livro. Ei, que filha da boa.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Pois é normal.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Ou só aqueles barulhinhos que vocês vão ouvindo assim instalar, sou eu a vaporizar, por isso não se assusta. Like this. Estou a ver. Ok, o que é que eu vou fazer então?
Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Pois, a gata, de certeza que realmente tem aqui bom lote de salmão ainda. Que barulho é isto mesmo? Ih, com caralho, só salmão ainda.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it. Like a smile with too many teeth. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Ok, até meter espuma aqui que é para não passar, para vedar. Alguém era coisa. Que é isto? Ah, tá bem, tenho que rodar o joystick. Ah, que bonito.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Teu bisavô era espetáculo.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Ora bem, tem 2 pessoas a assistir à live, sejam bem-vindos. Pronto, e agora? Mais livros. Então a televisão está em cima de livros? What the hell?
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Diz que ela afundou. História. Ah, bem. E agora o que é que eu faço? Isto não dá dicas, não dá?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Mas está bem. Olha, está aí uma ventaninha. Vou contar. Então já deve voltar a casa, mano. Onde é que se liga a luz? Agora deve sair lá em cima, não? E tinha mais livros, com caralho.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms.
Lacrou todos os quartos. Para quê?
Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Buracos para espiar. Ok. O que é isto?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Eu brincava muito no quarto do teu avô.
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Está aqui quarto bacana. Olha ali umas baleias, meu. Aqui que eu trabalhei. Outra tiburão.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh! Deu para abrir qualquer coisa. Olha.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Tu estás a meter não sabes aonde? Nem eu.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Para aquilo, Molly.
December 13th, 1947.
Dear
Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Ai, sou eu outra vez.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Pois, morfa-se tudo. Já deves ter comido o rato também, que eu não vejo o rato. Ou hamster, ou whatever.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Vai dormir. Diz ela.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Pois. Tantas portas. Ah, yeah, ok. Casa de banho.
I kept eating and eating.
E até vai de pasta dentes, o caralho. Se não vai dar caganeira? É qualquer coisa, tens aqui a cagadeira.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Pois, mamas tudo. Olha, tens mais aí? Não comes? Está bem.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Olha, um peitinho. Vai mais comer o peixe. Pensei
I
em...
thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ah, ainda bem que contiveste, coitado do peixe.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Tá bem. Olha, como eu.
I reached
Passa,
out
não?
for her. And suddenly,
Ei,
I
cara.
was a cat.
És um gato. Estou a ver. Pronto, e agora? Isto é que poder tentar explicar mais um bocadinho.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Estou um bocadinho ao caras. Por aqui. Por aqui. Diz ela miau. Estás mesmo com fome. Ui.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Já buguei o jogo. Ah, não.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Ah, está ali.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up.
Já foste com os
And
porcos.
suddenly, I was an owl.
Ai, já és uma coruja a
First,
seguir.
all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Ai, sou eu controlar.
Rabbits.
Apanhaste coelho.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Algo maior. Vai querer comer pai um cavalo ou caralho.
A mama rabbit.
Estou a ver que tu comes qualquer coisa. What the fuck? E apanhou?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Pois, está bem. Vai-se ver.
Suddenly, I was a shark.
Estou a ver. Eu tenho que fazer alguma coisa ainda. Bem. Vou voar com o tubarão. E já tinhas morrido, eu.
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean.
Imagina o gajo da praia a ver um tiburão a andar. Eu estava com mais fome que nunca, pois.
I wanted fat, juicy seeds. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Está ali ao fundo, já vi. Ui, para onde é que ela foi? Lado esquerdo? Deixei de ouvir.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Ui, agora és uma cobra.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. quiet.
Ih, caralho. Tchau, papo.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Vou-lhe dar aqui o nó. Olha, eu não amo. Dei-lhe um nó. Oh, mano. Não faço nada. Bom, está ali a minha próxima. Tchau, mamão. Oh, mas está bom.
Passenger, I was still hungry, and across the water I smelled something new, something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Nadei, já está a nadar outra vez.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Jesus.
I got closer and closer.
Oh, isto é a tua casa, oh, besta?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't get
demasiado.
I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Okay. Pronto.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
Só loadings.
Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Só coisa.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Oh, então já estou a ver outra vez o mesmo.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
That's muito. E agora? What now?
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Não tem chaves para isso, acho eu. Não tem chaves para tudo. Esse maninho já fodeu.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ai, foda-se. Pois uma casa tão estranha tinha que... Ora bem. Estou a ver. Só estou a ver.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Forte, Calvin. Jesus.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Que na minha mãe. Não estou a perceber merda nenhuma.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore
Também digo
we'd
já,
never
eu
be
não
afraid
andava
again.
aqui a fazer isto.
And he wasn't.
Se o jeito desta merda se
I
prendesse,
think
lá ia eu
Calvin
para aí.
always wanted to fly.
Sam, Calvin, dinner's ready. Come
Já vou, calma.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Tivesse dito o quê?
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Está bem? Oh. Rapaz, é melhor parar, porque senão ela vai te dar no... Mas este não para, velho. Estás a brincar? Ih, vai ficar. O gajo não para. Duas horas depois. If you moments later. Está bem? Salta fora. Ah, tu quase a andar de coisa. Tá bem. Quando a tua mãe vier aí dar-te dois guardanapos, tu vais ver que é um patroço. Pata partida. Mais ou menos. Outro penso que seja ali no bolso.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Vai-se mandar,
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Também estás aí a dar lá.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Queria voar e voou.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ainda bem que não fizeste. Senão não te vinhas a voar. Bem, fecha isso. 1950. Olha, foi o ano que meu pai nasceu. 11 anos depois. Ele morreu.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Aí é pronto. Back to the action. Tic tac, tic tac tac. Esta casa é um espetáculo. É parecido.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Edie's father Odin built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Ah, também trancou tudo. Deixa-me adivinhar, tem que ir por aqui outra vez.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Meeting, what the fuck is that?
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Tá ali qualquer coisa. Dreadful stars.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Ih, com caralho.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles in secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Ah, só que tem que ir. Tá bem? Tá mais ou menos bem feito. Tá certo.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Blood. Deixa-me tentar meter uma bola. Vai lá. Vai lá. Caralho, quase meti à preta. É lá para ganhar o jogo. Meteu-me. Olha, meti a preta. Entrou aqui. Olha, meti esta. Clear the table. Olha, aqui entrou sem saber. Sou ninja, moço. Olha isto.
Infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
You suck box. Tem que... Ai. Não fazer merda nenhuma, mas...
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Foi uma focinheira.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
E tu ficaste com...
But she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara!
Barbara!
What's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Oh, será que dá para foder aqui os livros? Ah, os livros não, os livros... Ele está debaixo da cama.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Nota-se pelo...
Orcas Island Police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
Ah, é, tinha coisa.
And Johnny was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's got to be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Mesmo no focinho.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. Vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Vou lá. Eu abro a porta. Don't worry about it.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
You were wonderful. The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took
Não,
it
chama-lhe
all
burro.
pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Tá aqui conto fodido, tá?
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered. As absurd as that comic was, maybe
Bem-vindo a
what
quem está a
Edie
assistir
saw
a
was a
live.
happy ending.
Podem comentar que eu deixo. E agora, para ir para onde? Já está uma pimenta que fome.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ah, pois é, agora posso ir lá a coisa. Se lembrar onde é que é. Aí em baixo. caralho. Cara, tava difícil. Boas.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Tem uns presentes fodidos.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Ghost. Hello, Lord.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Mais conto.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I was expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Okay. Caralho.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially.
Usavas a marreta contigo, não? Ah, bem.
I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Caralho. Bora. 52 a 2005, já tiveste me dizer. Ui, peço desculpa. 53 aninhos, já tiveste. Não é mal.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Cousin the curse.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Tá bem? Porque é que me viraste para aí se não tem nada para eu ver? A priori deve ser por aqui.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Já vai dar até água. Foda-se, puta de volta que eu vim, dá para ver que...
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Pois, eu estou bocado perdido, realmente.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
E agora?
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Pois.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but The pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Shurpy, burpy, derpy, derpy, junior, furpy, lurpy, zurpy, Zoe, Cocó, Coco, Coco, caralho, Tucker, Charlie, Daisy, Lucy.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
E foi 4060, 2005, 17, 2010.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
The fuck is that?
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Espera só bocadinho que eu já volto. Vamos lá continuar. O que é para fazer agora? Afinal não. E agora? Aí vou ter que ir para trás outra vez. Isto não é uma passagem. O que é a rapariga poder a correr? O que é isto aqui atrás? Correr um bocadinho.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Isso não vai partir nem nada. És uma ninja fodida.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Mais uma história. Então eu larguei a cena. Essa foto é uma...
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Estás aí.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Não sei o que é que teve. Eu não cheguei lá.
Aw.
Demorou, foi 2 horas. Onde é que ele vai? Oh filho, diz-me aonde é que eu tenho que tirar foto, não é? Porque eu ainda não sou bruxo. Ai, foda-se, estou a ficar todo.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Nice picture. Essa eu gostei. Essa eu achei engraçada.
All these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close.
Qualquer coisinha. Contrato de divórcio.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. Reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Eu não sei o que é isto.
Whatever it was he saw.
Agora.
It sure made him happy. sounds. But I worry about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could.
Shit.
Maybe
He's a good bagaço.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want me to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Ele morreu, foi afogado. Mas... por se lamber. Penso que deve ser por aqui.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Achou que é por aqui. Uma dicasinha, não tenho coisa leve, não é preciso muito. Bem, mas para a próxima. Cena é que ela olhou para a porta para ver o que estava lá escrito. Cena é que eu não consigo fazer nada.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. I can't imagine what it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Estou a perceber merda nenhuma, mas pronto. Se isto está a salvar, é porque esteira. Digo eu. Oh, velho, onde é que é, mano? What the fuck? Damn. Será que tinha alguma coisa lá em cima e eu não vi bem? Está só luz. Porra, dá-me a salvar outra vez. Não.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
My mom moved to India a week
Já ia
after
mandar-me outra vez para baixo,
graduation and got a
mas
job
pensei
teaching
melhor.
English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Vou saber mais
Milton
isto
Finch
e vou
the magic paintbrush.
jogar bocado, outra coisa qualquer. Uma porta que se abre.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. he started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. wise calico who'd insisted on inviting me. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Está salvando. E depois eu volto com mais uma livezinha para terminar este jogo.